Hey guys, welcome to our Pagan Opinions. I'm your Tuesday host, Hovik, and this week's topic is taxidermy, and what are our thoughts on it? So, to start off, in case you didn't know, taxidermy is the art and process of stuffing dead animals, essentially. It's been around for a really long time. I can't give you the exact date, I'm not looking it up, but I just know that it is. Um, it can be a really beautiful, interesting, creative way to display dead animals. And I'm not just talking about, and it kind of seems morbid when you say like dead animals, like you picked one off the street or your dead dog or something. But for the most part, in the early years, it was mainly used by royalty and things when they hunted animals, and they would have them stuffed for display. And so, yeah, it was mainly used for sport, really. You didn't really have this current resurgence of taxidermy where people are having their pets and animals and things stuffed to keep around. Like I said, it was just usually reserved for royalty and people with money and just people who wanted to show off. I personally don't, and I don't know why I need to say this, but I don't own anything that's stuffed. Any animal that's been stuffed, at least. I don't own anything. I don't own anything stuffed. Um, Now, my uncle is a hunter. He does hunt for sport on occasion. And while he doesn't necessarily have any stuffed items, because it is really expensive, it's expensive, and when you're doing that, you got to be really careful with, because when you have to be careful when you're going out to sport for the animal to not ruin it completely. So there's always that whole like science and art of making sure you shoot it in the right place or wound it or whatever, or kill it however way, so that it's not ruining the frame or the body of it. Um, anyway, so while he doesn't really stuff, because we usually butcher the animal ourselves, or not ourselves, but we have it. Actually, yeah, we do. We kind of have it. We basically get subprimals, which is the whole animal is skinned and sliced in half. When it's sliced in half and you have two halves of an animal, each half is a primal. And then if you split those in half, then you have a subprimal. So usually we get two primals out of the whole animal, obviously, and we enjoy it throughout the year for whatever. La, 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 la. And just to also kind of give it out there or disclose that, not to say that we just solely live on the animals we kill. No, this is like rare, not rare occasions, but we usually have, like, if we have like a holiday feast or something or whatever, or a big event, something celebratory, then there might be a leftover, or not a leftover, but we might have an animal saved for that and enjoy that at that time. But it's not like a common everyday, bust out the wild boar and have yourself a pork chop or something. No, obviously they still do purchase from the store and whatever. But it's still fun. It's really enjoyable. He enjoys it. It's good fun. I personally think it's kind of barbaric. Not necessarily barbaric, because, and again, see, this is going to be like that weird thing where I talk about it. I'm one of those people, and I'm totally not a hunting type of person. I don't like to hunt. But I still feel that if you were to hunt for an animal, it would need to be in a wild circumstance, like out in the wild. Because the hunting that my uncle does is essentially you go out to a large, huge, like, huge is not even the word for it, piece of property, and they have animals there that are living on the property. So they are technically wild animals. They're not like domesticated pigs or pheasants or whatever. But so they are wild, but they're sort of within the property, and it's essentially just, it's like a sure thing. You're gonna kill something, and I don't really necessarily agree with it. I'm like, well, I mean, I don't agree with hunting as it is, but I feel like if you were gonna actually hunt, it should be done properly. You know, um, don't half-ass it. Not to say that there isn't the challenge in that too. I mean, these places are huge, and it's raw, natural land, and the animal is roaming around, so it is a bit of a challenge. It's not like you basically walk up to the animal, shoot it in the face, and that's the end of it. You know, so there's still a challenge, but it's not as challenging as if you were to actually go out and hunt the proper way. So yeah, back to the whole, I kind of went off on a tangent to sort of explain that we don't taxidermy the animals. We save it for the meat and eat it and enjoy it. But if he goes out and kills, and this doesn't happen often, I think he does it anymore because they're a little expensive and it's still kind of sad and you don't want to be doing that. Deer and things, if they have a nice set of antlers or something, then we'll save those and have them up around the house. Not at my house, at my uncle's house, but that's about as far as it's ever really gotten. And or sometimes we'll save pheasant wings and things like that because they are really nice. But that's usually about it. I don't really think that. I personally think, unless well, I should say this: the two different kinds of taxidermy, like I talked about, taxidermy pets, taxidermy wild animals. Taxidermy pets, kind of creepy. Don't understand why you would need to do that. I say it's dead. Leave it alone. Really, don't need to be having my stuffed dog, around for display. It's just stupid and kind of gross. And then as far as hunted animals go, I think it's kind of nice. I wouldn't, it's not necessarily my taste. I don't like to have that whole really rugged animalistic design going around or whatever, but I do have a certain appreciation for it because it is a beautiful art and it is something that takes a lot of skill to do. But yeah, it's about as far as I go. Another thing I wanted to mention, because I kind of thought about it when I was talking about the deer. The only other time I've ever seen not taxidermy, but a certain kind, were, let me go and explain. The one thing I saw that I thought was really awesome, I was watching this show, it was a food show, and this chef basically holds private parties for these people, and you hire him up, and he'll do this amazing, huge party. It's super expensive and all that jazz. And one time, he did a party where it was venison, so it was deer, and he basically, because there's this, it's placed in England, so I guess there was this thing a long time ago that the way that chefs would sometimes present their meat or whatever would be they would save the carcass of the animal, or save the skin of the animal, and sort of build a frame and sort of lay it on top and have the meat inside of it, so that you'd essentially see a cooked animal in a dead skin, if that makes any sense. So they would have it on display, like kind of in a movement position or something, so it would look kind of cool, and then you'd open it up and there'd be like cooked meat inside. So I thought that was really cool, and it was a really interesting process to watch. It's completely clean, it's not gross and nasty. The skin is obviously cleaned and preserved and sanitized and all that jazz, but that's the only other kind of, I guess, taxidermy? That's not even taxidermy, that's just some weird animal display type thing that I think is kind of cool. I thought it was kind of neat. But yeah, those are my views on it. Got nothing else really to say about it. So, hope you enjoyed. Stay tuned for the rest of the week for our amazing hosts. I'll leave the links below to all our information, our Facebook page, Twitter, my personal channel, all that jazz. So feel free to follow us and like us all there so that you can stay up to date on all the things coming up, videos we have up, especially if you follow us on Twitter. Every time we post, it'll update on our Twitter, so you can catch it there. And that way you don't have to check on the YouTube channel every single time. So, yeah, that's it. Hope you guys enjoy. Blessed be.